Hi, I'm Ven. Welcome to my book corner. We have an unboxing video for you today. I have ordered some special editions of some books that I really like. So these are from Illumicrate. I believe they were originally in the Evernight box. That's at least what it's been delivered in. I've just realised that that's mirrored. That's slightly annoying. We'll correct that in the editing. But this came about 20 minutes ago. So I thought we would do an unboxing of it because I don't get pretty books that often. Hopefully you can still hear me. We'll soon find out. Where's my knife? How are you all? You're having a good weekend? I'm having a good weekend. It's sunny. I've got stuff done. We have a kitty that's just wandered in. Okay, so I do know what these books are. This isn't one of the book boxes, so that's fun. Okay, so there's 3 books in here in total. I don't think I've covered them all on the channel. I know I've covered at least 2 of them. So they're all well packaged first off. We're going to work in release order for their release dates. So the first one came out in September last year. All these are by Andrew Joseph White, who's got a new book out later on this year. And the first one is Compound Fracture. So, workers are exploited, rent is astronomical, the cost of healthcare is life-destroying, not because they are the path a river carves through a canyon, but because some capitalist fuckers decided they wanted it this way. So, that's the front, to the sides. I do really like the art style on these. They're very different to the actual paperbacks. And then you have your naked hardcover. So just need to add, the dog is okay in this. So, but that does play into part of the story. You got the side there. And you do have the sprayed edges along the side as well. But same pattern, top and bottom. And then you also have a couple of different bookends which show a couple of scenes from the book, which I really do like the artwork for this one. So, yeah, really pretty. So, monsters don't get to be innocent. Monsters don't get to beg for mercy. They don't deserve it. On the night Miles Abernathy's 16-year-old socialist and proud West Virginian comes out as trans to his parents, he sneaks off to a party carrying evidence that may turn the tide of the blood feud plaguing Twist Creek. Photos that prove the county's sheriff, Davis, was responsible for the so-called accident that injured Miles's dad, killed others, and crushed their grassroots efforts to unseat him. The feud began 100 years ago, when Miles' great-grandfather, Saint Abernathy, incited a miners' rebellion that ended with a public execution at the hands of law enforcement. Now, Miles becomes the feud's latest victim as the sheriff's son and his friends sniff out the evidence, follow him through the woods, and beat him nearly to death. In the hospital, the ghost of a soot-covered man hovers over Miles' bedside, while Sheriff Davis threatens Miles into silence. But when Miles accidentally kills one of the boys who wants out from under the sheriff's heel to free their families from the cycle of cruelty, they're willing to put everything on the line. But is Miles? This was actually one of my tougher reads for last year. I think because of the setting and how real it felt, but also there's some cultural sort of distance between what I'm used to here in the UK and where I live, and sort of the hollows of Appalachia and that sort of way of life, where it didn't quite translate properly until I started to watch a load of documentaries about Appalachia. So, well, that's absolutely gorgeous. I love sort of the injured face design on there, which again does really play into the nature of the story. The next one is a very different title. The Spirit Bares Its Teeth. So this is a gothic horror set in the Victorian period. Once again, you have very similar sort of art style on the front. You've got a quote on the back. I want to take myself apart into something else. And if I cannot do that, I want to destroy every part of it that could ever be used against me. So the blurb, Mors Vincent Omnia, death conquers all. London, 1883. The veil between the living and dead has thinned. Violet-eyed mediums commune with spirits under the watchful eye of the Royal Speaker Society. And 16-year-old Silas Bell would rather rip out his violet eyes than become an obedient speaker's wife. According to Mother, he'll be married by the end of the year. It doesn't matter that he's needed a decade of tutors to hide his autism, that he practices surgery on slaughtered pigs, that he is a boy, not a girl. The world insists on seeing. After a failed attempt to escape an arranged marriage, Silas is diagnosed with veil sickness, a mysterious disease sending violet-eyed women into madness and shipped away to Braxton's sanatorium and finishing school. 2 words that should never be in the same sentence. The facility is cold, the instructors merciless, and the students either bloom into eligible wives or disappear. So when the ghosts of missing students start begging Silas for help, he decides to reach into Braxton's innards and expose its rotten guts to the world, as long as the school doesn't break him first. So once again, we have a trans main character. We do for all 3 of these books. The author, Andrew Joseph White, is transgender as well. So again, you have pretty creepy artwork on the front there, and more skulls on the back. Again, you have a similar sort of design on your sprayed edges going all the way around. And then on the inside, you have your end papers, which that is gorgeous, first off. Really, really like that. And then you have a different view of what we will call ostensibly a happy ending. Really enjoyed that one. Gothic horror isn't generally my go-to, but that worked really, really well for me, to be honest. So it's one I do need to reread. However, speaking of rereading, this month I'm taking part in Agitation August. This is an amazing event being put on by Margaret Pennard. And one of the books that I've picked, because I'm reading 2 different books, one being 1984. The other one is Hell Followed With Us. Again, this is by Andrew Joseph White. This was his debut novel. And that is the cover for the special edition for this one. So this is right now my longest review on YouTube by a country mile. This book makes me so angry, which is the aim of it. And I will go into more on that when I'm talking with Margaret. However, if you're interested in my thoughts on that, wherever I've just pointed, perhaps will be where the link is to the video review. I don't know. So, the quote on the back of this, that's the front, side and back. And the quote, I am done begging for a scrap of respect. I am done with those who enact suffering, and I am done with the sons of bitches who stand back and let it happen. So this is my favourite of Andrew's books so far. This just hits me in a very, very specific way. And this is a dystopian set after an evangelical church has basically dropped a bio-bomb on the world. So, prepare to die, his kingdom is near. 16-year-old trans boy Benji is on the run from the cults that raised him, the fundamentalist sect that unleashed Armageddon and decimated the world's population. Desperately, he searches for a place where the cults can't get their hands on him, or, more importantly, on the bioweapon they infected him with. But when cornered by monsters born from the destruction, Benji is rescued by a group of teens from the local Atchison LGBTQ+ Centre, affectionately known as the ALC. The ALC's leader, Nick, is gorgeous, autistic, and a deadly shot. And he knows Benji's darkest secret. The cult's bioweapon is mutating him into a monster deadly enough to wipe humanity from the earth once and for all. Still, Nick offers Benji shelter among the ragtag group of queer teens as long as Benji can control the monster and use its power to defend the ALC. Eager to belong, Benji accepts Nick's terms until he discovers the ALC's mysterious leader has a hidden agenda and more than a few secrets of his own. So again, you have a very similar sort of style on the back. You have a little skull at the bottom corner and the flowers at the top. And again, similar sort of art style to the other books on the front as well, with this almost angelic bird-like figure. Eyes play a large part in these books for multiple reasons as well. And then on the inside, you do have that absolutely gorgeous artwork there, which is very reminiscent of the colour scheme of the initial releases as well. And same in the back, depicting the monster inside and the transformation, which absolutely stunning. Now, these are also all signed. So I'm saying they're all signed. Hellfold Withers is signed. I don't think the other two are. I would be surprised if they were. No, they're not. But yeah. So there we go. That is my special editions that I bought from Illumicrate. I'll be talking a bit more about Hellfold Withers at the end of the month over on Margaret Pennard's channel. If you've not checked her out yet, I will link her down below. Go give her a check out. But there we go. 3 special edition books to add to my shelves because apparently I don't have enough books. Do you like any of these? What do you think of the way these look? Have you read any of them? Let me know in the comments down below. Hope you've enjoyed this unboxing video, and I will catch you all very, very soon.